Boy, hey, man, this video is going to give me a lot of hate. Hate, hate, hate. Yeah, yeah. I can't wait to see all the hate I get from this video. You know, I'm not interested in my opinions in this video or yours. I'm interested in facts. There's an awful lot of lies out there about Apple. And Apple's a greedy corporation, but every corporation is fundamentally evil and greedy. Let's be honest with each other. Yeah. I was the #1 person in the world for answering tech support questions on the MacBook Air. I grew up being given junk out of the dumpster from IBM, and when I was really young, and with screwdrivers and taking stuff apart and fixing it. Used to build computers and take them apart and upgrade them. It's still the case on desktop computers that if you want something to upgrade, we're talking about a desktop computer that's modular. Laptops, like, since like the Sony Vaio of back, what year was it? Early 2000s, late 1990s. They're not really upgradable. I mean, you could upgrade the RAM chips on some of them, but, you know, iPads are not upgradable, and notebooks are not upgradable. I'm interested in some facts, and I'm not interested in all the nonsense out there. There's some websites and one YouTuber in specific, and I'm not going to mention his name, that spread a lot of lies. So we're actually going to lay down some facts here. I don't carry any weight for the Apple Computer Company. I mean, no way, shape, and form. I never liked Steve Jobs. Never had any respect for him. I don't like the current guy that runs Apple now. I don't. The whole ethos around the people that work for the company, I'm not really a fan of. But the lies out there about Apple computers is so off the hook, and I'm going to point them out. I'm not interested in my opinions. I'm not interested in your opinions. I'm interested in facts. And 98% of what they're doing, every other laptop manufacturer is doing the same thing. And there's some new stuff out about like some rivets on the back of the new MacBook keyboards. Like, well, there used to be screws there. It's like, yeah, there used to be. You know, technology is a moving monster. I'm going to go down a laundry list, and I'm going to destroy everything on this list. And please remember that I don't carry any weight for Apple. I will tell you that, you know, being a genuine hardware expert on computers, I never claimed to be a software expert, but genuine hardware expert on computers, I can tell you that like 99% of my stress vanished when I stopped using Microsoft computer products based operating system. You know, just genuine, you know, Dell, Hewlett-Packard. My Sony Vaio is a piece of artwork. They actually make really wonderful computers. I still wish I had that ancient computer. I know it would still be going today, but I gave it away. A true piece of artwork. They're not made that way anymore. Everybody on this laundry list, let's start #1. We'll say, well, Apple computers are a lot more expensive. Apple actually, by the way, portrays themselves to like recycle computers. People say, well, they're just trying to get rid of parts so you can't repair it. They do want you to buy more products, and of course, like every corporation, it's all about money, and all corporations, you know, to a greater or lesser degree, are the same sort of thing that is unjust and immoral, on and on and on. But they're not more expensive. Apple is no more environmental than any other computer company. They just seem to portray themselves that way. On one front, they are environmental, and you can say whether this by design or not. And this is 100% undeniable by anybody. I'm going down the laundry list here. Apple notebook, a MacBook Pro, a MacBook Air, unless you're really super, super abusive with it, will far outlive any Windows-based machine by miles and miles. I know it, you know it, and if you don't know it, you've had your head in the sand. So people say, Apple's so much more expensive than every other computer. No, it's not, because if it costs 30–40% more on average, but it lasts on average 3 to 5 times longer, it's actually a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. The days of upgrading computers, unless it's a super expensive tower and you're a gamer and you want to upgrade the graphics processing card and swap out solid state drives, so on and so forth. Computers haven't. It's all e-trash. You know what e-trash is? It means electronics trash. All of it, no matter how expensive it is, it's all e-trash. All of it. I don't care if it's IBM or VAIO. I don't care who it is. It's all e-trash. It just is. I've owned more laptops than God. I guarantee you 100%. Look at my eyes, tell me if I'm lying. I've owned more laptops than any of you out there watching this video. Nothing has lasted as long as a quality MacBook Air product or a MacBook Pro product. They've kind of melded into the same thing now. There used to be a clear distinction between a MacBook Pro and a MacBook Air. That's not the point of this video. Keep saying that Apple is anti-repair. Well, what's your definition of repair? Because Apple doesn't want you to repair your stuff. That's just a total lie with no substantiation. Oh, sure, it's true. It's like every time you say it's kind of a brain lock that people keep repeating the same garbage and there's no facts to back it up. If you own it, you can take it apart and repair it. Because what is a special pentahex screw? Who cares? It's a $5 tool. Like iFixit is one of 1,000 different companies. They'll sell you the tool. Like on your iPhone, for example, you can do a battery swap for $32. You can take it apart. Like every mall in the United States and Europe has some little fly-by-night outfit that is run by a guy that lives in a trailer on the backyard of his mom's house that fixes and swaps out any part that you want. It's a total lie that you can't, I will not want you to repair. That's just not true. It's yours. You can fix it. Now, once you fix it, you stick in that third-party component, and it may or may not be a third-party component. They may not cover the warranty for obvious reasons. They need to be certain that they won't do it. But this idea that you can't fix it is just absolute and total bunk. I'm actually getting to a couple of YouTubers. There's a famous one. And it's a brilliant fallacy. It's a really acute fallacy that people that aren't very smart don't understand. Someone will point out a bunch of undeniable facts. Boom, boom, boom. Fact 1, 2, 3. Well, all those facts are right. Then they'll make a completely incorrect conclusion. What's your definition of repair? Yeah, we're talking about subcomponent repair, where we're talking about taking out a 10 to 30 power microscope and sticking like the main board or like on a current MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, they've kind of melded into the same thing. You have 5 major components, and that's eliminating out the LCD display, which is its own component. You know, the keyboard, the main board, you have the solid state drive actually soldered on to the main board now, and then you have a ports board, and power board, and speaker assembly. It depends on the unit. 5 or 6 major components. There's a guy on YouTube, and he's very, very good, but it takes some hardcore skills to do what he does. Anyway, once again, please, in this video I'm talking about facts, not your silly opinions, not my silly opinions. It took that guy years to learn how to take, we're talking about like a resistor that's the size of, you know, the proboscis on a mosquito, sitting there desoldering it under a 10 to 30 power magnification. Desoldering that, and he'll state accurate facts. Oh, this is a $2 component on this $800 motherboard, and Apple wanted to charge this person $800, and I did it. Of course, his skills are worth a lot of money because there's very few people that have those skills. You have to be super, super careful. You know, you can't be jittery with the caffeine when you're desoldering and resoldering those. I mean, the videos will even show you that. I mean, if you got 2 brain cells, that looks like it takes some major skills to do that. That's a tiny, 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 tiny little component on the main board. This is true. And every computer company is the exact same way on this front, including Apple. They don't take zit-faced Gen Zers and anybody that they hire to train them. I mean, it's just a total insane waste of money. It's expensive as heck. You don't do that. Apple doesn't do that. Nobody else does that. They diagnose which one of, depending on the laptop computer, for example, which one of the 5 to 10 components in that laptop. Yeah, you remove the main LCD display. You got 5 to 10 components in there, depending on the make and model and the manufacturer of that. And it's easy. So it gets this major component. It could be the main board, which is super expensive. It's like, what's the main board? You know, it's $800. You got a 6-year-old computer here. You know, you should buy yourself a new computer. That doesn't matter if it's an Apple or anything else. Like, you know, you got my labor. You got $600 to $800 on the main board, $200 labor. You're looking at $1,000. You can get a brand new computer. It's way faster than this piece of trash, which is old because it's all e-trash. Doesn't matter who makes it. It's all e-trash. Once it fails, it fails. Time to upgrade your computer. I know you're in love with it, but time to, you know, send it, bury it 6 feet under. Actually, it's grind it up and melt it down. Usually, it actually just gets thrown in the landfill. I don't think Apple is any more environmental, other than the fact their computers last way longer. Anyway, this guy and several other people are telling correct facts, but they're lying. So, oh, Apple's so evil, they refuse to allow repair. There is nobody on this earth that if they have a broken iMac or MacBook Pro or iPhone or MacBook Air, you can repair it. You can repair it. A lot of these, I know 3 stores in Lexington alone. Like if you have an old MacBook Air, well, they've got like 30 to 100 of the same model in the back room that they could rip the components out. It's kind of like a junkyard, you know, and swap out parts. But they swap out main components. There is no computer company that teaches people, which takes forever, to do subcomponent repair under 10 to 30 power magnification, desoldering a micro resistor. Nobody does that because it's not cost effective. It's just flat out insane. People, it doesn't work. Nobody does that. So this is a total absolute lie. This is where you give people the correct facts, but you're ultimately lying. Apple didn't fix this. This was a $2 part. It's like, yeah, but you charged them a whole lot of money for your expertise and labor to do it. Everything you said was true, but your conclusion is wrong because they're not going to teach a Gen Zer 2 years of training how to do very, very, very detailed repair. All they do is they just give them a special box that lets them test for what the major component is, or this major component failed, or that major component failed. It's identified. You don't repair the subcomponent on the major component, you just rip it out and you replace it with another one. Every company does that. Every one of them does that. Not just Apple. They're not going to teach a Gen Zer to do something that takes years to learn how to do. They're just not going to do it. It's not cost effective. It's insane. It's crazy. No company does that, and Apple doesn't do it either. So someone was saying on some recent stuff, and I'm not defending Apple here at all. I don't care any company, any weight for this, any weight for Apple Incorporated. I don't love corporations at all. I never liked Steve Jobs. Never. I had no respect for the guy. Do I have a lot of Apple products? I sure do. It's made my life a whole lot easier. And as someone that built computers and has owned more Microsoft-based computers, Hewlett-Packard, Compaq, VAIO, IBM, I own way more computers and laptops than you have. I guarantee it. My life is so much easier now that I don't use that stuff. You want to talk about evil? Let's talk about the guy that's running in that company. You know, I'm not going to mention his name. You know what I'm talking about, right? You want to really talk about evil? Anyway, someone's posting a video. So look at this. The new MacBook Pro's got rivets on the back of the keyboard instead of screws. Well, do you know the reason why they took the screws out? It saves cost, it saves time, it reduces weight, and it keeps loose screws from the keyboard, the back of the keyboard, from falling out and shorting out the main board. You know what happens when you get little metal screws rolling around inside of an electronic device? What that does? Do you know? Do you have like 2 brain cells to figure that out? Loose screws rolling around in an electronic device that's electronically active. I wonder what would happen. Yeah, they did stick rivets on the back. It saves them time, it saves them money. Well, you can't repair it so easy now. We were talking about subcomponent repair. I mean, how hard do you have to pound on your keyboard to wreck it that you need the keyboard fixed? Can I ask you that question? Inside of a MacBook Pro and a MacBook Air is a piece of jewelry. I've had more laptop support than all of you combined. I mean, I can say that definitively. I have taken apart for scrapping parts on and on and on. I don't do it anymore. I mean, I've got bags and bags. I got drawers over here full of hard drives and, oh my gosh, so many laptop parts. Inside of a MacBook Air or Pro is a piece of jewelry. I mean, it really is. Now people say, oh my God, the solid state drive. By the way, you could download my free article that I wrote for Apple. It's still online. Just type in methodology to protect your data. Just type in methodology to protect your data. It's an article that I wrote for Apple. Oh no, the solid state drive is not removable from the main board now. It's soldered on to the main board. Oh no! You'll hear something in that article that I wrote, and it's a philosophy that everybody needs to follow. Your computer isn't a data storage device. It's a working platform. Like your desk here is a working platform where you get stuff done. Like your storage device, and you need to have multiple copies, and there's a difference between backups and archives, but that's a matter for you reading that article that I wrote. It would be like your filing cabinet over here. No computer on earth, doesn't matter who makes it or how expensive it is a storage device. Sure it is, got a solid state drive or hard drive in it, my computer's storage. No, no computer is a storage device. It's a working platform. It's where you get stuff done. Your data is supposed to have backups, archives, and redundancies that are not connected to the computer. And you need to have multiple. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. If you don't know that, then you don't know anything about computers. People say, oh my God, if my main board fails and all my data on my solid state drive is unretrievable because it's soldered onto the main board. That saves money for Apple, and I'm not making any excuses for that. I mean, it certainly does. And today's competitive pricing where everything keeps going up and up and up and up, that saves a few dollars, to be sure. It's like, well, what if my main board fails and all my data on my solid state drive can't be removed? This is true. And the problem was not with Apple, but your ignorance, because you thought your computer was a data storage device, and it's not. It's a working platform. Remember, 2 is 1 is none. You need to have backups and archives. True archives are those that are optical, and nobody likes optical, but I'm talking about the oh Jesus data. You know what oh Jesus data is? It's the super, super, super important data that you cannot lose under any circumstance. Like, oh my God, this data is critical to my life, essentially. That needs to be burned onto archival optical. Go look up what archival optical is. Yeah, you've made a mistake. If all your data was on your computer and it failed, then you failed, not Apple, for soldering the solid-state drive. I'm not making excuses for Apple. I'm stating a fact. It doesn't matter what computer it is. If you have all your data on your computer, then you have failed. You have failed. Not IBM, Compaq, HP, Sony Vaio, Apple, anybody. You failed. Oh my God, I can't take solid. It's just a total lie and flat out stupid. People complaining about that. People say, oh my God, Apple doesn't want me to repair my stuff because of pentaloop screws and software assigning servers to prevent users from repairing and downgrading their iPhone. You know if anybody wants to downgrade their iPhone? A pentaloop screwdriver? In other words, it's a non-common screwdriver head. Like, oh my God, you had to go on eBay and spend $5 for a pentaloop head so that you could take your iPhone or your MacBook Air or MacBook Pro apart. Oh, my Apple don't want me repairing it. What they actually don't want is goobers opening up the back clamshell of their MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, and sticking their greasy, wet fingers in there and doing stuff, and then claiming a warranty claim on it. Oh, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it just died. Oh, no, you had the back cover off, and you were sticking your fingers in there, and you were doing things you didn't know what you were doing. Well, watch the YouTube video. There's nobody on this earth, and it's not my opinion. This is a hardcore fact. Nobody on this earth that is prevented from fixing their iPhone, their iPad, their MacBook Pro, their MacBook Air. Nobody. There is 10 bazillion non-Apple incorporated goobers out there that will fix your device for you. So you fork over the money, sure, I'll fix it. I got like 10 dead ones of those in the back. I'll take out that part, which is a major component. People say, well, is Apple against the right to repair? Apple is not against repairing. They want as much money as possible. They're no different than every other corporation. It's a fake third-party. Also, too, they don't want you to install third-party components in there. You're like, oh my, and you take it to Apple, and they see that it's been screwed back together. They do stop fake third-party components, but every other major computer company does the same thing. Apple is in no way original to that. So this is all lies. There's a couple of YouTubers that are spinning these lies, and people, they're not lying. Look at that. He took off a $2 resistor on that main board. Yes, he did, but he charged, which is fine because extreme skills, demand that you charge. I have special skills, that guy, that YouTuber would say, and he's right. He charges $200, $300, $400 depending on how much time he spends doing it. It's a $3 part with $300 of labor, for example, versus $800 main board replacement, for example. Well, Apple wanted to charge this person $800. I only charged him $400. Yeah, you did a subcomponent repair, and Apple and no other computer company on earth does that because they can't train people because it's economically super stupid to do that. You identify 5 to 10 problems within the computer, major components, and you swap them out. You go like, oh, this whole component is the point of failure. It might be only a $5 or $2 resistor on there, but they take out that. You know what that takes? It's the difference between 2 months of training to identify one of 6 to 10 components, depending on the manufacturer, make, and model. 2 to 4 months training, actually less usually. 2 to 4 months of training versus 2 to 4 years. You can't. How stupid does somebody have to be to not understand that you're not going to have a Goober McSpecialty dude whip out the 30 power microscope and sit there and try to desolder a resistor that is the size of the proboscis of a mosquito. There's no computer company that does that. So this is the problem, and it's a fallacy. It's a very, very fine fallacy. It's kind of like I'm playing a little fiddle right here. It's so small you can't see it. Where people tell correct facts about what happened. This is a $2 component. Apple wanted to charge them $800. Apple's not against that, but Apple nor any other computer company does that. They do major component replacement. And that, by definition, is a repair. So all of this nonsense that Apple is anti-repair is nonsense. Every iPhone model out there right now, you can go to countless different websites and buy the specialty screwdriver, the replacement battery, on and on and on, and fix it yourself or pay some, Goonie Bird at the mall. You know all those places in the mall? It's like, we fix your phone. Will it void your warranty? Yeah. But you got it repaired. Who cares? All forms of electronics, whether it's this iPad, this old iMac computer, it doesn't matter. It's all e-trash. You know what e-trash is? It's electronic trash. It's disposable like a baby wipe. Once you've used it, it's time to throw it in a toilet. Actually, you don't throw baby wipes in the toilet. By the way, that's what we call a toilet here in the South. We call them turlets. You throw it in the garbage. It's because it's e-waste. My biggest one, I keep shaking my head. People say, oh, Apple computers are so expensive. And I just like this, like, what is wrong with your brain that you don't understand that, like, a MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, unless you, like, spill Coke on it or you smear baby poo underneath the keyboard pads, is going to last, like, 4 to 5 times longer than any other comparable computer. Have you ever had a MacBook Air or Pro in your hands? It's not only a piece of jewelry, superficially, when you take the back of the clamshell off, and I've done that to more than all of you combined, it's a piece of jewelry. Simplicity is divinity. And let me get this straight. It costs 30 to 60%, depending on make and model. 30 to 60%, and I do not conflate the idea that Apple, Mac, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, desktop, they're not gaming machines, but I don't play games. Computers are meant to be used for doing work. If you want to play games, get yourself a Microsoft machine. So let me get this straight. So it costs 30 to 60% more, but it lasts 4 to 5 times as long. And even if you hate Apple, I don't care. Let's just be factual here. It lasts 3 to 5 times longer. So it costs 30 to 60% more, but it lasts 3 to 5 times longer, and you think it's expensive? Yeah. What? Do you have a brain? Do you? Apparently a lot of people don't. So here's the secret. I carry no water, once again, for Apple. All corporations, to me, and they are just about that far away from being total evil. They are. They're just tools. I use them. All my stress vanished. And I know how to use a computer, girlfriend. I know. I've built them. I've owned more than you have. All my stress. Stop using Microsoft-based machines. It's not the operating system. I don't confuse the hardware with the software or the OS. I don't. It was, well, that's the OS. Yeah, I know the difference between OS and hardware. Here, take a $2,000 window notebook, which would be good for gaming, way better than any Mac. $2,000, yeah. And then take a $2,000 Apple Mac computer. Yeah, both purchased at the same day. Use them for 3 years, and then try to sell both of them. 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Nobody will give you anything for that Windows machine. Let's say they're both immaculately clean after 3, 4, 5 years. Nobody wants it. Well, that's an obsolete piece of trash, which it is. And what about the $2,000 MacBook Pro or Air or iMac, whichever model it is? So it's $2,000, whatever model, make a model is. Easy to get rid of. Easy. Super easy. These are the facts. I don't care about opinions. I'm interested in the facts. Can't we be factual and logical? Objective, non-emotional, not irrational? This is the truth about Apple. I don't care who hates it, who loves it. I don't care about the company. I don't even have any stock in the company. These are just the facts. If you got an Apple product, it can be repaired. There's no computer company out there that does sub-component repair. There is no computer anywhere that says, oh, you got a burnt out $2 resistor on your main board. We'll send it into us. We'll have the super mega guru whip out his 30 power microscope and desolder it and put on a new one. And nobody does that. Nobody. Company. There's a few people that do it, but the companies don't do it. And because it's extremely stupid. Nobody does it for many good reasons. There we go. End of story. The truth has been laid out, and it is undeniable.